Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to my Premier League mini guide. Today we are looking at Man United. And what's in these videos is basically a quick rundown of the squad. We're going to look at how much money they have to spend, what sort of staff they've got, have a look at the players, work out which areas might need strengthening, look at the youth team, see if they've got any top talents, and all sorts of stuff like that, just to give you a better idea going in if you're going to manage Manchester United. So first off, let's start with the finances. Lots of money in the bank, 336 million, 42 million pounds to spend. One thing to note on Man United is that they have a massive amount of debt. It shouldn't be a problem because they have a massive income as well. But do remember that Man United are paying out £4.32 million a month in loans. They still owe 400 odd. So quite a lot of money, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but something to bear in mind. Next up, I'll have a quick look at the dynamics of the team and see who's, top of the pops and all that. Michael Carrick, David De Gea and Antonio Valencia. Obviously these two because they've been there for a very long time. And then you've got sort of the new guys and the young guys down here as the other players. But, lots of influential players, which is always good. Everybody seems to be getting along all right. Nice main group here, good secondary group. There's a Luke Shaw. I think Mourinho put him there on purpose on his own. And Matic has obviously just joined. So, I think that's not too bad at all. So if we look at now, we'll have a quick look at the staff just to see what levels we're looking at. We've got the best... Bloody hell. The best recruitment in the Premiership, which you'd expect with 39 people. Needs work on the medical front and lots of work on the coaching front. We do have space for 4 more coaches. So defence and attacking coaches, get them in the door. Obviously, this has gone up more because I forgot that my manager is actually I've set him up as a goalkeeping coach. So this might be less as well. I don't like these pop-ups when I hover over, just saying Sports Interactive if you're watching. If we look at the team report, moving on to the squad, obviously lots and lots of strengths. Everything else is a strength, apart from not enough depth in the squad and a leadership void in the squad, especially if you're looking to move on the likes of Carrick and some of the other sort of older players that might have some decent leadership. If we look at the squad as a whole, the main squad, and we'll search it just by quick. We're not going to go through every player, obviously, but we're just going to give a quick overview, see what areas you might strengthen, also what tactics you might employ. So goalkeeper-wise, well, you've got David Gea, so you don't have to worry about that, and Sergio Romero is a really good backup. Centre-back-wise, Phil Jones, about as average as you can get, but he's getting a run in real life. 3-star. You've got Twanzebe, who's the youngster. I'd probably be looking to loan him out. He's 19 now. Maybe look to loan him out for a season. You've got Chris Smalling, who's average, and Eric Barley, who's your best centre-back. So, and obviously got the new guy, Lindelof. He's obviously better in the game than he is in real life. He's a centre-back. He can't head. He's not very good at heading, which, with some work, he's young. You can make him a decent centre-back. I still think they're definitely weak in the centre-back department. As far as right-backs go, we have, if you want very attacking wing-backs, full-backs sort of setup, then we've got you covered. Antonio Valencia, bags of pace, can play as a wing-back, is a sort of perfect option. Ashley Young... he's, this sort of new fad of playing these players at defensive positions. This is fine if you want to go really attacking, but if you look at his defensive areas here, crap marking, crap tackling, acceleration, anticipation's not great. The rest is kind of average. He probably, because he's so versatile now, he probably do as a little backup or 120 grand a week. Yeah, in the game he starts off transfer listed. I think that's probably a good idea, unless you need that backup. Then we've got Darmian, who again is more of an attacking fullback option. Actually, like it says he is, but he's not really, is he? Can't cross for shit. He could actually be a decent centre-back. There you go. 17 tackling, 15 marking, 14 heading, only 11 jumping reach. He's only 6 foot, but he could do a job if you have an injury crisis. That's all I'm saying. Then Mr. Sick Note himself, Luke Shaw, starts off the game injured, as you'd expect. Looks like they've downgraded him a little bit, but he's still a very good player in the making. It's all obviously about his injury susceptibility. And then we've got Daley Blind, who can pretty much play anywhere at the back apart from right back. Solid player, no pace whatsoever. So if that's the thing you want, you don't have to worry about really amazing mentals. Overall, the wing-back situation is pretty fine. There's nobody world-class, but there's also no real weak points to the team there. Then we can move on to that central midfield, defensive midfield. We've got Carrick, who's old. His physicals have really dropped now. You might want to keep him for the first year as a bit part player. He's got a year left on his contract. He's not worth much money. He's on 80 grand a week. Might be a thing that changes your mind. But then obviously you've got his replacement basically with Nemanja Matic, who's a solid defensive midfielder. They've got Ander Herrera, who I really rate in real life, who's there as well. Then we've got Marouane Fellaini. In the game, he's transfer listed, but obviously Mourinho really likes him. And I think he can do a job, definitely. Ball-winning midfielder, plus shadow. I like the fact it's ball-winning midfielder and shadow striker. Quite extreme ends of the scale, but sort of target man. I would quite happily play him. I think he's still pretty decent. And what sort of money is he on? 90 grand a week. And then we've got Paul Pogba. He's quite good at football. And then sort of they're the main sort of central midfielders. And I think that's pretty good depth. Unless you're thinking of getting rid of Carrick and Fellaini the first season, then you might need somebody in. But you've got to be wary with this new dynamic system of getting rid of players like Carrick because they are the team leaders. If we click on one of the players, you've got sort of his social group. So by selling him, you could piss off all these players. There's a lot of quite shit players there, but, still something to bear in mind, which is really good. It encourages you to sort of get a gel team together this year. Then we've got Jesse Lingard, who I don't rate in real life, as he can play anywhere behind the striker or even up top, and so I think he's fine. Unless you wanted to cash in, he's valued at 37 million. You could do a lot better for 37 million, but still, obviously, a decent player and versatile. Then we've got Henrik Mkhitaryan, who is a sort of better version of Lingard, really, but in his prime now, so 28. Need to start thinking about replacements again. Juan Mata, superb, amazing player, but 29. So, and his physicals aren't great already. They're just on the turn. I think in a year or two, we're going to have some issues there with the fitness and the physical side of game. But he's still a very, very good player. Good for a couple of years at least. Then we've got the bright talent, which is Rashford. He's been upgraded this year. He's 5-star. Obviously, eventually, he's going to be your key man. We've got Martial, who can play as a striker on the left-hand side. So up top, we are looking, you've got Zlatan, who's a giant of a legend. I love Zlatan. And Lukaku, he's not bad either. So up top, I think it's safe to say Man United are all right. For me, where you're going to strengthen is centre-back. And depending on if you want to use a tactic with wingers, you might want to sign a winger. But that very much depends on if you don't mind using the same Rashford or Martial as the inside forward and play one up top with Lukaku. Let's have a quick look at tactics. I'm not going to, build a tactic for this team because, we're all still learning this new engine and how it works. But if we look at the formation, if we just sort of look at what, I always like to look at this, what the assistant manager recommends. So he's going like, we've got loads of good strikers. Let's play them all. This could work. I'd be tempted because I like that sort of Martial player or even Rashford as a sort of inside-y forward to help support the lone striker. Then you could maybe have an out-and-out winger here or another inside forward to help. And then this very much depends on how you want to play. You can keep this 3. You could go a bit more defensive if you're playing the bigger teams, or you can really go for it, play this sort of Juan Mata role, which might be preferable to a lot of people because of this. Or, alternatively, because you have very good attacking fullbacks, you could go maybe for a 5-at-the-back formation with wing-backs and all that sort of stuff. Not this one, that looks horrific. But something like this. I've got a man left over, what should I do with him? I think, just generally speaking, that the DM role, defensive midfielder, is more important for the sort of 20 hours I've played of FM18 so far. I think this area here is more important, and I'm starting to use formations that have two DMs. You know, we still play as deep line playmakers or stuff like that. They still get forward, but I think this added security is really good. So overall, obviously a very good team. The board expect us, what do the board expect us to achieve this season? Premier League, Champions League. So that's not too bad. FA Cup, they probably expect us to get final. League Cup, they never give a shit, do they? Champions League, quarter-finals. I think that's doable with the squad they have. I think this is one of the easier first-year challenges because they had obviously a shocker last year. The board don't expect as much. They don't expect you to win the league. And when you've got the likes of, you know, Martial, Rashford, Lukaku, David De Gea, both ends of the pitch you've got sorted. I think you just need a bit more strength in the midfield. Right, there we go, my friends. Hope you enjoyed that little guide. If you're managing Man United or you're about to manage Man United, leave your tips in the comments below. Help out other people because people are going to view this, think they're just about to start their save. So as well as my little bit of knowledge and you guys helping out in the comments saying players that you really rate and stuff like that, we'll have a quick look just in the under-23s to see if there's any bright prospects according to our scouts. We've got Callum Gribben, who's kind of an FM legend because he never made it at Man United and he always gets released so you can pick him up on a free, who's decent. And then we've got Andres Pereira, who looks like a very solid prospect in the making. 21 now, so he needs to break into the team if he's going to get anywhere, which I think he could do. What is he, more of a winger? He's a decent player, two-footed as well. So this guy could actually come back and do a job right away. Can you recall him? Have we got that option? No, which is a bummer, but definitely going forward that's nice. And then under 19s we've got 1 4.5-star potential, Angel Gomez or Angel Gomez if you're English. Plays behind the striker. He's amazing. He's got lots of flares. He's a big fan of the 70s. He's got amazing flares. But other than that, he's pretty decent. But yeah, there we go. There's my team guide. Leave your comments in the comments below because that's where comments go because they're comments in the comments section. Useful. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Please check out all my other FM18 content. I'm doing tons of guides this year. I'm doing lots of experiments. I'm doing a journeyman series. I'm also doing a lower league legend series and all that sort of good stuff. So please subscribe, go and check out all that stuff. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.